recording. So first of all, Tim, have you looked at any of the recorded trainings that we've done?
I have not, and I intended to do that this weekend, and I just got swamped, and I apologize because I thought it would have been really good for me to have done that, and I got them, and I just never got to them. But the day I was going to do it was on Sunday, and it just didn't happen.
Okay, so there is a set of recordings here. I can't show it to you because of other confidential information on my screen. We have 3, 6, 9, 12 meeting recordings. The last one we did was a walkthrough of the comp plan with some prospective leaders. We had your top guy, who's that, Mike was his name, is that right? I forget.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, so we had him and a few other people, I think, on the call. We went through it, actually went through it backwards, which is interesting because they're leaders. And they loved it, they got it, and I really would encourage after this call for you to dive into that. But
okay, now which are the ones that you want? Because I had a Dropbox sent to me by oh gosh, who was it? I think it was Brian, and he hooked me up. And then when I talked to Steve Morse, he said, "Oh, you don't need to listen to any of those videos except the very last, or go through any of those recordings except the very last one." I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, that's the only one." Is that true?
I'm not sure if I'd agree with that.
Well, then you tell me what you want me to look through.
So your role is finance, right? You're CFO.
No, I'm the COO of the company.
COO. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Just so you know, more than the COO of the company, I'm doing meetings, I'm doing sales, I'm doing training. I've been president of companies. I've been vice president of sales many times before. I was one of the top distributors with Herbalife a long time ago, and I built my own companies. And you know, basically in the industry, I built Relive. I'm sure you heard of Relive.
Yeah.
With Bob Montgomery, I was the guy that got that going until Bob and I had a falling out, and he had more stock than I did. So it was bye-bye, Tim. But so I'm very familiar with all aspects of the industry. He wanted and needed a COO, but he needed into everything, and that's what he's gotten in me. So good. Call me COO, call me sales manager, call me janitor, call me everything.
So you make sure the toilet paper's in the restroom before you go home at night.
You got it.
Good. So okay. So let me go through. Hang on. So do you have? How do I do this without showing? Hang on. Let me see if... Here we go. Okay. I'm going to show my screen. I've just hidden stuff that I cannot share. So what you see here in Dropbox is... and let's back up. We use Dropbox to share things with clients. There are 2 Dropbox folders, one that stores the video recordings and one that stores the documents. They are separate for some good reasons. The videos, you know, there's probably a couple of gigabytes of video recording here, and sometimes that takes up too much space on some devices. So that's done separately. Dr. Eric has arrived, it says. Who is that?
Yes, that's Eric Snipes, Dr. Eric Snipes.
Great.
He's definitely one of our leaders. He's a comm leader.
So he's not a staff person, he's a leader?
Yes, he is. He's in the field.
Okay, perfect. So in short, that being said, these videos are for internal use. So I'm going to close this. Anyway, that video link is that you've got will get you into all of those. Be careful who you share it with, because there's some confidential information in some of those meetings. What I would do if I were you is I'd listen to the last one first, and I think that's wise. But from a COO perspective, you also are going to want to see some of the financial numbers. There's several there, things like the plan payout estimator. That's a big one. You know, how do we know that this plan is affordable over time? You know, go into that. That's, you know, a lot of numbers there. The business walkthrough, which was one of the earliest ones, would it be extremely valuable to you also, so that you you can see a number of the assumptions and premises that we learned from Steve and team about the business that influenced how the design was put together. Every plan we do is custom built, zero-based design we call it. So it's designed specifically for your business, around the budget numbers, around how we're selling, and all of the other moving gears in the business machinery. So that business walkthrough would be a really helpful one to get you up to speed on those assumptions. Partly too, Tim, that should you change how you do business, you might find that you need to make adjustments to the plan, because the plan is designed to align and harmonize perfectly with the business that we are creating, not surprisingly. So, Dr. Eric, I see you're listed there as participants. You're muted. You might unmute yourself. We cannot hear you until you click that microphone button on the GoToMeeting control panel, and then we could hear you. You see that? There's a microphone on the control panel. I'm not sure if you can hear us. If you can hear us, type a message into the chat. There's a chat kind of a section at the bottom of the control panel. Doctor.
I have a feeling maybe he's hooked in and he's in his office. He's a chiropractor, and maybe he walked out for a second. No, there he is.
No, that's me.
That's you. He may have walked out.
You there? I can hear you.
Okay. All right. I was just listening in. I'm kind of moving in and out with patients a little bit here and there. So, but I've got a few minutes. So okay. I'll mute it out if I got to walk out.
Great. Okay. So.
And Dan, just so you know, when I tell people about the comp plan, I say, don't ever tell people you got the best comp plan in the world. Tell people you got the best comp plan in the world for this company, and that's what it's about.
That's really wise, Tim, because every plan is different. Avon's plan would never work at Nu Skin, and Nu Skin's plan would not work at the Pampered Chef. There is no such thing as the world's perfect comp plan. It doesn't exist. It's a unicorn.
Yep.
But exactly like you just said, I say it in the same way. I say there is a best plan for you, and it's designed to be in perfect alignment with who you want to be when you grow up. That's how I kind of phrase it, and it's totally true. Okay, so what we have is, let's step away for a second and just talk in general terms about compensation plans. And I would note, Dr. Eric, I did a leader training with Mike and a few other people. I don't think you were on that. They might be willing to share that video with you. So I don't want to just repeat myself. All of our time is precious. So that
that's
video,
fine. That's fine. I could not get on that call.
Right. So
in fact, I was actually traveling down in San Antonio, so I was not able to do that because I was working the business down in San Antonio.
Okay. So what you might ask is for Steve or Tim to share a link to share that video with you. Now, Tim, don't share the general link because it gets all of the videos, including confidential information. But you can download that video to your device, and you should have a way. If you don't, you need to make a way to share large files with people. And that might be to post it on a website, share the link, or use a service like we use sometimes called Hightail, which in essence it's specifically designed to allow for large file sharing, like gigabyte files. You upload it to the website, it sends a link to the recipient can download the file, and you're good to go. Hightail, one of the services, there's many out there that do that. But just be sure always, Tim, of that you know when you send a link to somebody, that you know what that link is going to, because what we don't want to do is socialize, corporate financial numbers and other things that should not be socialized.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so first of all, Dr. Eric, just a little bit about me. You probably don't know me. I've been in direct selling 38 years. I launched 100 years ago the first direct selling software company called GenCon. I'm the Gen of GenCon. And they still are doing great. They don't do startup companies. They work with upper tier companies. And but I retired from them in '99 after working with about 800 direct selling companies, and still wanted to continue working in the industry. And I focus on what I love, which is strategy. I work with companies around the world to help them grow the business. We focus heavily on compensation strategy, but we also get into some other things from time to time, financial and social media and other types of things too. I've worked with, I don't know how many, at least 1,200 direct selling companies now in my 38 years. And I have the good fortune of working with 2 of my 5 children, Andy and Brian. Andy's been in direct selling now for 20 years. She and her husband owned a direct selling company for a few years and then sold their interest to their partner, who wanted to go in a different direction. And my son Brian has been in direct selling now for about 18 years, mostly in the IT side. So it's a strange family, this Jensen family, and it drives my wife nuts at Christmas and Thanksgiving when we're talking comp plans and all sorts of stuff. So anyway, that's me. So when we look at comp plan design, we need to recognize there are 2 major components of a comp plan. One is the career path and one is the payout. The career path reflects the behaviors that we want to reward. It's kind of like do this, get that, right? Well, do what? Do it when? Do how much of it? And the career path needs to be really specific in establishing what is it that we want people to do. Then the payout systems are designed to perfectly harmonize with the career path to reward people for doing the right thing. That's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm sure both of you can identify with that. So we look at the career path as the most important piece. So I want to focus on that first. Now the career path has 3 different phases. Phase 3, which we don't see on the screen, is the leadership phase. That's a few pages down below. Phase 1 and 2 are all the stepping stones that get people into leadership. Most people, when they join a direct selling company, when I say most, like 98%, have no intention of becoming a leader. My daughter Esther is a perfect example of that. She joined Sensi about 12 years ago, number 162, and she had no desire to be a leader at all. She just wanted to sell some of their great candle products, which she started doing. Little by little, she sponsored one here and one there, and here we are 12 years later, she's got 5,000 people underneath her. Go figure. She, like many leaders, is an accidental success. But she followed the program. She followed what the career path instructed her to do and what the training instructed her to do, and wouldn't you know, it worked. Sensi today is a $600–700 million a year company, doing well. So if the career path is designed well, the career path becomes a roadmap to success, just like Esther followed at Sensi. And so if you do what the career path says, you're likely to be very successful. Therefore, in order to create lots of leaders, what we've got to do is hit a home run with all of the stepping stones that lead up to leadership. Otherwise, we're going to get very few people that get there. Tim, in your former roles in various direct selling companies, I'm sure you found some companies that did better with leadership development than other companies. And a lot of that is training, of course, but a whole lot of that is the career path. So another interesting note, we are in a changing marketplace. Here we look at millennials who have the attention span of a firefly. And they want a whole lot for very little effort. Well, sorry, we can't really accommodate that so well, but we do have to deal with attention spans. plans today actually have more titles that are closer together in achievement levels than old plans that were designed 5, 10, especially 20 years ago, when people had a lot more patience and willingness to work the business for 3 months or 6 months before they gave up. Today, we're fortunate to get a few weeks out of them before they give up. And so what you'll see in how we've followed best practices in today's marketplace is that in the early stages of the career path, we have very, how would you say, the stepping stones are close together. And in fact, as you can see here, let me turn on my, if we look in this first section here of the phase 1, what we would like to see is a new recruit working their way through phase 1 in 90 days, 3 months, getting to senior consultant if they follow the program, if they get trained, in like 3 months. That's what it's designed for. So 3 rank advancements in 3 months is really the best practice today for the onboarding of new recruits. Any questions on that? Comments?
No, Dan, that's obviously 90 days is as long as I ever gave anybody a goal in the business.
Yeah, exactly. We're lucky if we can get 90 days out of them. But that's is why, Tim, if we can get somebody to get 1 or 2 rank advancements, it's likely that they'll stick with it for 90 days. So if we can get them through 3 rank advancements in 90 days, the likelihood of them moving to rank 4, which is manager, and then eventually team manager and senior manager, very high. Very high. Most plans, older plans, do not do that. They have massive fallouts, within a few months. And our clients don't have the same, they still have the problem, but it's nowhere near as bad as it is in some older plans. Okay, so a couple of things. We have in this plan, we have personal retail sales, PRS. You can see that, right here, PRS, personal retail sales. We also have a term called level 1 sales, L1S. Now, in your, I think you're still using those terms, but these are terms sometimes our clients change the nomenclature. I don't know if you've done that or not. I think it syncs up with what you've done. And then there's a third one called downline sales, DS. Let's talk about those 3 different volumes because they have different behaviors. Personal retail sales is defined as my sales, my purchases that I make as a consultant or above, as an associate, and any customers that I have enrolled. So their volume is part of my PRS as well. This means technically I could become a consultant with 150 PRS without buying anything myself. And you say, well, Dan, that doesn't sound good. We want them to buy the product themselves. And I agree with that, but legally we cannot do that. We cannot require an associate to purchase for the condition of earning money. You cannot. It's illegal. They'd shut you down. So what we can do is require them to sell something and allow them to achieve it also through personal purchases. So they can personally purchase, and it adds to the personal retail sales. Does that make sense?
It does, and I had to have a talk with Steve because Steve was talking about make sure you get on that auto ship so you can get your check. And I said, that's pay for play. Don't use that verbiage. It's not what we want to do here. People will do things on their own. We don't need to do anything except talk about what they can do as far as what you just said.
Right. It's okay to promote auto ship, but you certainly don't want to make it appear that you require it. That absolutely will get the attention of regulators. We don't want that.
Yes.
It's an optional thing. They do not get extra commission if they're on auto ship. So they get auto ship, it works, and it helps. But anyway. So sure. I would note in this document, Tim, which is in your Dropbox folder, do you have access? Did I add you to Dropbox? I think I did.
Yes.
Okay. You'll note.
Actually, Brian did.
Perfect. A couple of hints. With this document, which is your final plan design document, if you hit, I've got a Windows machine, and if you put control and hover over the thing, you get a hand, a click hand, and that would allow you to click, and it will take you directly to the definition of that term. It's called a hyperlink. So here's the definition right there that we were looking at. Here's another one, QS. I can click that, and it takes me directly to qualifying sales. So it's a really good way to navigate around this 39-page plan document, which is designed for the software guys. This is not a brochure. I don't know if I even have a brochure. Let me see what I've got. Hang on. Pause.
I think you do, because I think I've seen it.
Well, that would be nice. Oh, yeah. Right here. Here we go.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good-looking document. In fact, let's work off of that one. We'll just kind of make it a little bit bigger. Okay. So I want to scroll down again to the career path, which is this section up here at the top. So qualifications, there's 150 PRS. And then the level 1 sales, L1S, should be defined somewhere. Let's see if it is. I do not see definitions. Maybe it's somewhere. I don't see it. In any event, level 1 sales refers to, let me go back to the plan to make sure.
Are you talking about a glossary?
Yeah.
It's on here. It should be on here. It should be all the way over to the right on the unilevel page there, and because I've got it right here.
Okay, I'll go look. The technical definition is listed here. The qualifying sales from an associate's level 1 preferred customers, associates, and the retail customers by those sponsored by those level 1 associates. So my retail customers are not part of my level 1. They're part of my personal. But my preferred customers and the retail customers, if any, of my personal associates, that's all part of my level 1 sales. I remember that. Let's call back this. Okay, so, whoops. Minus. Yeah, oh, there, right here on the right side. There it is. You're right. Right over here. There's level 1 sales. Okay. Perfect. So back to this. So the key is to get people, we want to get people up to this senior manager, which has a role, a crucial role. It's a pivotal role. A senior manager says, it's my team. They look up to me. I schedule team meetings. I schedule training. I look after each member of my team. They're kind of like the coach of a little league soccer team or a baseball team. Senior manager, it's a very unique thing. At Herbalife, it'd be your supervisor. At Nu Skin, it's an executive. At Sensi, it's a director. Every company has some title that's assigned the role of looking after the individual team members personally. For us, that's the senior manager. If we don't do a good job of that, we will not develop leaders well. This is a pivotal, crucial role. I can't stress that enough. If you don't do what I'm suggesting and emphasize that role, you're going to struggle to develop directors and team members. So this is a crucial role. So in essence, we have in the career path various requirements here to refer to the behaviors that get people up to that role of senior manager. So we've just talked about personal retail sales, level 1 sales, and then the downline sales, as it notes over here, is the total, here we go, is the total qualifying sales from an associate on their entire downline organization. Includes everything, everybody, all the customers, preferred customers, the whole 9 yards. Everybody's included in downline sales. So as I become a senior consultant, hopefully by my third month, I have 1,200 in downline sales, 750 in level 1 sales, and notice eventually as we go up the career path, the level 1 sales flattens out at 1,500. Never gets bigger than that. Tim, why do you think that is?
Well, you caught me by surprise. Let me look here. Very good experience. So I would see you need to concentrate on your downline.
That's right. So we're not going to say that you're a top leader because you have more level 1 sales. You need some, but you're going to be a leader because you're working with your rising stars below you, which will usually not be on your level 1. Usually they'll be deeper. And so the downline sales is the main thing to focus on as a leader. So you can see that increases at every leader rank. You know, senior manager at 7,000, then it doubles to 15 for director, and then 30, and then 70, and so forth. So in short, we're eventually up to 600,000 at Star Ambassador 3. So anyway, the downline sales is crucial because that's going to make sure they have money on which we can pay a commission. If they're not making volume, they're not going to get commissions. I mean, volume drives commissions, obviously. So downline sales is the most important metric here of all. I'm sure that makes sense. Now, there's also a rule called MSR, Maximum Sales Rule. Let's go look at that. That's down here at the bottom. Maximum Sales Rule. That's the maximum downline sales amount that will be counted toward my downline sales from any one leg. So if I've got 5 legs, 4 legs or something, and Tim is my biggest leg, he's got $100,000 in downline sales, and he's below me. Then based upon my title, I can only count up to a certain amount. Like if I'm a director and Tim is underneath me with $100,000 in volume, I can only count $7,500 from Tim toward my $15,000 requirement. So why do you think we do that?
So that you don't just concentrate on we don't get a free ride on one guy. You got to keep moving.
Exactly right. It reduces the stacking. You've got to develop a decent team that will help you succeed. Getting lucky is not what we want to compensate for in the plan. So we've got a 50% rule here. In essence, half of the downline sales have to come from other than your strong point. Okay. We also have a requirement for QCC. That's a qualified customer count. Down here, it's the associates must maintain a minimum qualified customer count, which is the total number of retail customers and or preferred customers that have purchased at least 75 qualifying sales in the period. Simple. So you're not going to succeed in this plan if you choose not to enroll customers. Customers are vital. Why do you think that is?
That's the regulatory. Well, first of all, you want to have customers because you want to have a retail out there, but that's for the regulators, and that's probably it mostly.
You're exactly right. In today's regulatory environment, after Herbalife and VIMA in the last couple of years, all of the attorneys are advising clients to be sure they have a minimum of 51% of the total volume coming from known customers. So the days of the old VIMAs when they're recruiting with product packs, those are gone. Can't do that anymore. We have to have customers who are buying the product, driving commission. Now notice it isn't very many. It goes up to 5 and stops. You got to have a few. Questions?
No, I mean, you got to remember, I went through all. I was in the 1985 the hearings out in Washington D.C. I was actually there for those way back when, so I've been around this stuff for a long time. So, no, I'm listening to you loud and clear.
Perfect.
Dan, what's the likelihood of the 5 having to increase as the corporation as a whole grows? As far as an individual, or is it going to be dependent on what corporation can maintain the 50% plus?
That's a great question, Dr. Eric. One of the answers to that is that we not only have a requirement, but we also have rewards. So there's both the carrot and the stick. Think of the requirement as the stick, and then we also pay you more for getting preferred customers, which count toward this.
Okay.
So I think we're going to be just fine, but there is a risk that if people recruit 10 people and enroll 1 customer, that's a problem. But I think they would struggle getting to the 5 if that was the case. One other factor, we always have challenges with retention. So your 5 customers, if I get 5 customers, next month I'm probably going to have to replace at least 1 of them, if not 2 of them. So there is a churn. That depends on the retention rate that customers will show over time on how long they stay in auto ship. So in short, getting 5 doesn't mean you stop. It would be very naive to think that if once I get my 5, I'm done, and that somehow magically I'll never lose those customers. That just doesn't happen.
Well, I know that we're teaching, or I'm teaching my group to shoot for 90 days, 18.
Good.
You fall off. Whether it's financial reasons or what, you're going to have 1 or 2. So,
yeah, and they don't call you and tell you they're going to cancel. They just do it. So you need to overbuild in order to be safe.
You do, and the other thing, Eric, as you know, is we have, and this has been very surprising to me here, Dan, because, I've been around the old school, how self-consuming, and if it wasn't for self-consuming, there probably wouldn't be as much. But for some of these companies, for sure. But this company has got lots of retail customers coming up. I mean, there's people that buy this stuff as retail customers. They love that water, and they will stay on it. So you get out there and get yourself 5. You should just because you're getting paid on it. You should have over time 10, 12, 15 of them. I think because of how retailable this is. And
I agree completely.
That's a positive thing about this company.
I think you're exactly right.
Yeah, I think with the former product, I think I had 13, 14 customers.
Amazing.
We're saying them is just very, very consumable, and people just wanted it.
So moving on, we also have some what we call structural requirements. So for example, the senior manager needs 3 builder legs. What's a builder leg? If we go, should be here somewhere. Yeah, up at the top, right here. Any downline leg that has at least 800 qualifying sales in the entire leg. Now, my personal volume is not included in a leg below me. If I recruit Tim, his personal volume is included in that leg, but not mine, because it starts with Tim. Every leg starts with a personal recruit. So a builder leg with 800, we screwed over here again. As a senior manager, I need 3 legs with 800 qualifying sales in them, in addition to these other requirements. So why do you think we do that?
To continue the career.
Right.
You're exactly right, and I would also add, we want to have the team managers and senior managers preparing for leadership. You can't be a leader if you've got 1 leg. You need to develop multiple legs for the strength, because you're always going to lose a leg at some point in the future. you never design a compensation plan assuming that the sun is always shining and the birds are always singing. And we call it the happy day scenario. People that fail design plans for the happy day scenario. The reality is that many of your leaders over time will lose one or two key people in their organization. And so when that happens, will they survive it? So you teach them to develop multiple legs for strength. I like to compare it to a chair. How many legs does a chair have? 4. Why 4? Why not 2? Why not 3? And the simple answer is it's because it's stable. And a chair with 5 or 6 legs is even more stable. So in essence, you can notice we don't go up into extraordinary numbers of legs. The top star ambassador 3 is required to develop 3 senior director legs. This is not extraordinary. It's not 20 legs or something like that. It's 3. But they need, those legs are going to be creating the stability that is needed. So what we're doing starting at manager is requiring the development of stability and strength in the organization. So anyway, leaders are paid because they develop other leaders, and these leg requirements will help to do that. So that's our career path. Any questions?
No, I love that, because one of the issues, obviously, you know from the old like the old Herbalife plans, the ones we had at Relive, was that people there were some career paths. So if they built something and they could kind of sit on it and just sit on for a long time, and that was really detrimental to the company and even detrimental to them, because they let them be lazy and they hurt themselves.
Right. Exactly right. So we want to give them a roadmap on how to succeed. So the career path is it. Okay, so let's talk about payouts now. So in the plan, we have, first of all, earn 10% on all of your retail customers' purchases. That's an easy one. And that 10% is based upon the retail value or the customer price. You get 10%. So that's where we start. But most of the customers will sign up as preferred customers and get the better price on AutoShip. In that case, as a preferred customer, I would be getting my level bonus on my preferred customers and my associates' purchases that they make, plus the retail purchases of my associates. They're all my level 1, and I'll pick up to 11% commission on my level 1 commissionable volume. We don't pay on the retail value, we pay on the distributor price, if I remember right. So if I have more volume from preferred customer sales, PCS is preferred customer sales. I think that's, no, it's not listed there, but it's, in essence, it's preferred customer sales. If I have between 500 and 999, I get an extra 5% on my preferred customers. If I have 1,000 or more, I get an extra 10%. That means I could make 10% plus 11%, 21% on my preferred customers. I would note I do not get the extra percentage, the 10 or the 5 or the 10, on my associates.
Right.
This is another reason why, remember the carrot and stick, we would expect to have more preferred customers because they can earn more on preferred customers in that situation. And you say, well, why would they recruit other associates? And the answer is so that those associates can go get preferred customers, and then they get a level 1. So when I talk to Tim and try to bring him into the business, part of that conversation is if he really wants to earn money at this, or if he just wants a good price. If he only wants a good price, I will encourage him to enroll as a preferred customer. If he wants to work the business, however, I will encourage him to enroll as an associate, but my earnings on him will be up to 11%. Now, there's one difference, that one thing that's not quite right in what I just said, I can get an extra 5% here with a fast start bonus on Tim. I recruit Tim today, and I will get an extra 5% on his sales as an associate, not a preferred customer, as an associate. So as he goes out and purchases product and gets some retail customers, I get anything on my level 1 sales, I will make up to 11% plus this 5%, but this only lasts for a few months. Fast start bonus, I think, what does it go to? I think it's like 3 months, if I remember. I forget.
First 90 days that you sign up someone new.
There you go. There you go.
And Dan, just before we go, the commissionable sales on this isn't at the price, because I think because of the shipping, you put in a 70% to kind of make it 70% of the net auto ship price.
Okay, thank you. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I actually did the math, and I know exactly why you did it. And then we'll be watching as time goes on with this because of these weights.
Yes, because it's not cheap to ship water.
No.
I'm sure you're right.
But we're working on it.
Okay. Well, it'll get better in time as your volumes grow. Okay, so then we move to the level bonuses. Now, level bonuses deal with the location of a person below me by depth. My level 1, which is the first row, are my personal recruits and my preferred customers. They're level 1. My level 2 are the associates of my level 1 associates and the preferred customers of my level 1 associates. My level 3 are their people and so forth. I mean, it's really simple. You know, how deep are you? And so just know that both associates and preferred customers take a spot in a lineage, and you determine their depth by where they are below you. Simple. A retail customer does not take a spot in the lineage. They're kind of to the sides, like level 0 to me, my retail customers. They're linked to me, but they're not in the lineage. So we pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels deep up to 11.875, 3%. And that's designed to reward what behavior? Answer, recruiting. Level 1 is strong on the recruiting reward. Number 2, the team building behavior, coaching, mentoring, helping others. Number 3, retention. Okay. And that's pretty much it. This is not designed to be a heavy reward for leaders. Leaders get this, but this is not where most of their checks will come from, the level bonus. Most of the leaders' checks will come from the generational bonuses because those are bigger. Those are paid deeper and on more volume. So the generational commissions, if we move to that, are paid on who? On the senior manager teams. So imagine I'm a leader and I've got a bunch of senior managers below me. Tim is below me, Dr. Eric is below me, you're both senior managers or higher. You might be a director or senior director or something. You will start a generation. And you and your team down to the next senior manager or higher is a generation to me. That might be 15 people or 20 people or 30 people, associates, with all of the preferred customers also and retail sales, everything's included, and you have generational team volume there. I will receive on my first generation up to 3%, up to 4%, excuse me. What's a first generation? Simple. It's a senior manager or higher below me, and there is no other leader between us. So I'm looking down at my lineage, and I see Tim, and I see Dr. Eric in another leg, and there's no other leader between us. You are my first generations. And I can have 5 or 10 or 20 or whatever first generation teams. Now, teams that they develop, you know, if you guys develop teams below you, they would be my second generations, and then my third generations below them, and so forth. So a generation will, in most cases, go much, much deeper than levels. 5 generations of depth will often equate to 15 to 20 levels of depth. But the wonderful thing about a generation is that it focuses on the hot spots of where volume is being produced below me. I might recruit person A who recruits person B who recruits person C, and C recruits Tim, and Tim is a superstar. Tim is 4 levels below me. So I'm picking up on Tim's personal sales. I pick up level 4 here, and then below him, level 5, his first level is level 5 to me. Great, I get paid on that. But in addition, because Tim becomes a senior manager, I pick up 2 to 4% on Tim's entire downline until he gets another senior manager below him. That becomes a second generation to me, and I will get that if I am paid as a team director or higher. I get a second generation. And
I'm going to stop you there, Dan, because I want to ask you.
Go ahead.
I want to ask you a question to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, because I think that I am. What this type of plan does compared to the old plans that I've worked with, the old breakaways that we had in Herbalife and that kind of stuff, is it seems to allow a lot of people who are not going to be leaders to stay in the plan and then still let you go down and work with these leaders that are there. Because in the old plans, if some people got good, everybody got pushed up to supervisor, and some people couldn't maintain those volumes, and they always fell out.
Right.
And it looks like this is keeping those people in that don't want to go high, but they can still work their pace and get there at a certain level of time. But this identifies those other people. So it seems to really to have eliminated a lot of those old plans that used to knock people out all the time because they just didn't recognize it. Is that what it's doing?
Tim, that's very intuitive. You are dead right. That's exactly right. The old breakaway style plans are now dead. They're obsolete. People are not being attracted into them at all. Companies that are still using them are struggling with them. We have a number of projects underway for large companies who are converting away from them. And they're going to more plans similar to this, where they're using a combination of level bonuses or infinity bonuses with generation bonuses or check matches or something like that. But the old stair steps like Herbalife has and Amway, Sensi even, they're dead. They're gone.
Okay. I can see. I see the incredible benefit of this. So it's nice to see it and understand. I just making sure that if that's what I felt was happening, I wanted you to just confirm it for me, because that's excellent.
One of the paradigm shifts that's important for you, considering you've seen so many plans and many of them old ones, the old style plans. Let's take Nu Skin as an example. Nu Skin has a 1-level bonus, then they have a group volume bonus, then they have a generation bonus. On any individual person in your downline, you will earn one or the other, but never more than 1 bonus on them. I either earn a level 1 on you, or a group volume bonus on you, or a generation bonus on you, wherever you might be in my team. In this plan, this is a hybrid plan, you'll have many times when people earn 2 bonuses, maybe even 3, on the same person. As an example, I recruit Tim. I might be getting a 5% fast start bonus on you, and I get a level 1 commission on you. I get 2 different commissions, and they will be listed on my statement with 2 line items, 5% on your $200 and 11% on your $200. Later on, as time goes on, I stop earning mentor or fast start bonus, and I'm only earning level 1 on you, on your personal volume. But as you eventually get to senior manager, now my generation commission will kick in on you. So I may get a level 1 commission on your personal sales, and a level 2 on your recruits, and a level 3 on their recruits, etc. And if I am a team director, I get a 3% generation commission on top of that. So in essence, I'm getting on you 11% plus 3, 8% plus 3, 7% plus 3, 5 plus 3, 3 plus 3. It's a really cool system. So there is never, here it is, there is never a takeaway. There's nothing in this plan that would cause you to earn less because you advance in rank or somebody below you advances in rank.
Got it.
So winding this up, down here at the bottom, we have an infinity bonus, you can see, which deals with the people who have extremely deep organizations. Now, if you have a really deep organization, you do not need to be paid a big percentage. You know, if you've got 10,000 people, a small percentage on massive volumes is a lot of money. So starting at generation, let me double check this, hang on. I'm going to just look at definitions so I don't teach you something wrong. Just one second. Yes, in the infinity bonus actually starts at level 6. So where level 5 is the deepest we pay in this level bonus, starting at level 6, what is it? The 2-star and the 3-star ambassadors, they start picking up a 0.5% or 1% starting on level 6. If you've got 50 levels of depth, that can be serious money, big money. Now, another key thing, a lot of infinity bonuses out there pay the difference between your infinity bonus percent and other leaders below you. So if I'm a 3-star and Tim below me is a 2-star, Tim gets a 0.5%, I get 1%. A lot of infinity bonuses would pay me 1 minus 0.5, called a differential. We chose not to do that. I get 1% on Tim's volume. Tim also gets a 0.5% on his volume, starting at his level 6. So instead of paying the difference and penalizing people as they help others to succeed, we did not want to do that. So we actually pay the full percentage starting at level 6. I would note that I don't know if, let me think, hang on. Sometimes, we have a maximum payout for infinity bonus is of 1%. Not likely to hit it, but if we do, we might increase the cap or just leave it there, whatever. But whenever you do infinity bonuses, there is a financial risk of paying out too much because it pays infinitely deep. You can't have 10 people earning 1% on most of the volume. So there is a cap, but it's not likely that the cap will ever be hit. If it is hit, we'll reconnoiter and figure out what to do about it. But it's just, anyway, it's there just as a kind of a safety valve to make sure we can afford the plan.
Right. Eric, are you still there? Okay, go ahead. He stepped away. I thought you might have had a patient. Go ahead.
Okay. Last thing we have is a Founders Club eligible. I honestly don't remember what we decided on that, but starting on Team Director, people are eligible to become a Founders Club. Usually we encourage them to have a policy that anybody who joins from your hard launch for the next year could become a founder if by their first year, anniversary of their sign-up, they become a Team Director. So theoretically, the last founder would be 24 months from hard launch. Somebody who joins you in your month 12 and they become a Team Director in their month 12. That's 24 months possible. Questions?
On the Founders Club, now that's something that's only going to be for people in the first 2 years from the hard launch. Not everybody gets 2 years to accomplish it, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. I think one of the things that I did have a question on that somebody actually gave me, and I think I know the answer to this myself, but I'm just going to go ahead and read it out loud since she gave it to me. One of the things she was saying is the gal said, well, these people have to do $150 in volume, but in order to get their $150 in volume, they're having to do a $214 auto ship, and the answer is no, you need to get a customer.
Right.
Right?
Exactly
very
right.
Simple. Be building your business. Yeah. No, I'm feeling very comfortable with it. I'm always going to go over it again and again and again, but I'm certainly getting very comfortable with it. I'm glad that I am an old school guy, Dan, because I see this difference. We used to just kill so many people in Herbalife and in Relive with these step-aways. It just, I mean, we push them up to a place they never wanted to be, and there's these large requirements. This allows people to kind of find that equilibrium, find that level, and if they do, they'll never get pushed out, and over time they stand a better chance of having success rather than have something try to force them into success they're not ready for.
Exactly right. And I'm noting, I just was reading a couple notes on Founders Club. You need to check on your policy. I'm not sure where it was left. It might be only available to people joining within 3 months, and then they have 12 months to get to team director. That looks like the direction, but I don't really know. I wasn't part of those conversations, so I'm not sure.
Okay, I will get that from Steve.
Yep. There we go. That's the plan.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. I'm going to ask you another question here. I don't know if you can answer this one or not. Because it's funny. I did a couple meetings that I went to that Mike Fletcher was doing, and Mike starts to talk about the compensation thing, which he totally understands. And usually when you teach these things, I told him, I said, you'll teach people these things 10 times, and then the 11th time they'll listen to somebody else do it, and they'll finally get it. And I said, that person was great. They forget that you showed them 10 times to get them there. And I said, so just be prepared for that. Yep. But two is for, and maybe this is something you can't do, I don't know. But, because I've been out for a long time as far as, really presenting these new hybrid plans. I had one for about 2 years at the other company that I was at, but it was not done well like this one is. And but the issue is in presenting it as far as an opportunity meeting. What are most people doing right now? They do their product. Obviously, we know we got fantastic stuff, so we can really lean on the product and do that. And obviously, it's like a duh. If water's the biggest consumable in the world, if we got the best water in the world, there's a great opportunity. What kind of detail or what kind of presentation, even to what's legal, are people doing now in their opportunity meetings to present the financial opportunity?
It's a great question. And the unfortunate thing is that there's been massive abuse out there with people over-promising and under-delivering. You want to earn $10,000 a month, here's what you do. Get 5 people, get 5 people, get 5 people, etc. And sadly, the regulators are now hypersensitive to that. So what we cannot do in reality is make any form of earnings claims at all. What we can do once time goes by is to publish results if we choose that we want to do that. So we can, and many companies do, publish disclosures of what the earnings are for people. They can't, so some companies do that, but that's really up to you if you want to go down that track.
Okay, and then I see. What about if they disclose? Are they allowed to do income testimonials now or not?
No, they call it check waving. You can't do that. I wish you could. You can't. And
well, because I noticed, I went over because all the guys at Zervita are guys that used to work for me at Relive. The top guys are. Mark Jarvis was one of my guys. Brad Murray was one of my guys. And every time I look on the internet, I'm seeing income claim, income claim, income claim.
The unfortunate thing is that when you see those things on the internet, YouTube, the regulators will use that as evidence even when it's a few years old.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to do everything you can to be squeaky clean now so that evidence is not accumulated for someday in the future when you're on somebody's radar screen.
Sure. Well, and that's what I'm trying to get at, build a stronger, more accurate, more current frame of reference than what I have had, so that I know that and try to really focus on that. And I've got to say, one of the things that I did do with this company was something that I came up with, and I don't know how to get your feeling. I said, look, to me, this is there's just 4 types of people. You got everybody's a customer. And then it's kind of like life. There's people who want to make a part-time income. There's people who want to build toward a full-time income. And those are all fine. That's about, you have to work to get there to do these types of things. And then we're going to have some people that are doing some elite things. But the nice thing about our elite group is that everybody's invited. Nobody can tell you can't become that way if you're willing to work hard. And I don't use any money figures at all. Good, bad, indifferent?
Yeah, good question. Again, I would tend to underpromise and overdeliver. I would tend to be cautious about any kind of inference that, you know, you're going to get big money. The leaders will do that, and usually you don't want them to do that, but they'll do it anyway. But don't, as a company, create a culture that is overpromising. Remember that 99% of the people who join you are not leaders. And they only want to make a few $100s a month at best. They're happy with that. Once they do make $300, $400, $500 a month, they'll set their sights higher, move it to 1,000, and then eventually 2,000, and who knows, some of them will eventually go full time. But it's an evolution. It's a natural, organic process. The sweet spot is in the $300 to $600 a month range. And if you, in essence, you know, with your 3-in-1 product start program, you know, which is pack-based plus the other parts of the comp plan, people can get to that if they continue working the business. But you're not going to be able to tell them, here's how you make $5,000 a month. I wish you could, but you can't.
Okay, I got you. Can I say this? You know, guys, make a goal of getting out here and working this plan and get your first $300 to $600 a month before you start thinking about anything else. Okay.
Well, I think for most people that would absolutely be a smart thing. For if you were dealing with a leader who's not interested in that low income, you know, change the conversation. But for the 99%, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think if you've got a leader, they're smart enough to figure out, and we're pitching to $300 to $600. Any leader can look at this plan and know, hey, if you're a leader, you'll see leader money in the plan. That's all there is to it. Yep. You'll see it. I don't need to tell you. You can figure that out on your own. What we're doing right now is talking to a lot of people that we can help to get to that organic level of $300 to $600 that might become leaders in a way that, you know, and follow along you, and you'll pull them along, and some great things can happen for them. Because I don't have a problem with that. I mean, really, $300 to $600 is fantastic. And if you're a leader, you'll see the leader money in there. Go get it. So
right.
Simple enough.
Yep.
Okay.
Tim, let me go old school with you. You know, and a guy that I first introduced me to network marketing, I say that was one of the first big leaders I was ever exposed to. Bill Britt. You remember that name?
Yes, I do.
So Bill's big thing was you never disclosed money, but he would always refer to it as you can make a car payment. He said you can make a house note, or you can cover private school tuition if you so choose. Those were his three things. He never put a dollar value on it. But then for the leaders themselves, his big thing was, and you always constantly heard it, that the money is better than they said it was.
Yeah. That was
his phrase, is, guys, when you get to this level, the money's better than they say it is. You won't believe it. That was the two big mantras, is better than they said it was, or you wouldn't believe it if I told you. And he just, you know, and what it does is it builds up their own dream in their own head of what they want to achieve. So I think and that's kind of what I tell people with this plan. I just kind of stick with that and say, you know, you can make you a card note, or you can make you a private school tuition for your kid note or something, but it was never a dollar value. But I always like that concept of don't promise them dollar values. Just tell them that, you know, hey, you get to a team manager, the money's better than they said it was.
I sure like that too.
Or you won't believe it. You know, if I told you what you potentially could make a team manager, you wouldn't believe me anyhow. So just get to work.
Yeah, I didn't hear you, Dan. Dan, what did you say?
Do what?
You know, Dan, you made a comment on that. I didn't hear it because it was.
Yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly. You're under-promising, and you'll over-deliver.
Well, and too, Eric, what I'm going to say to a lot of you guys is that, you know, being inside, since you guys are getting the distributorship, so Eric, will you loan me some money someday, buddy?
Yeah.
It's a heck of a plan. Trust me. I've been on the inside in companies many, many times, and believe it or not, most of the money is made by the field. There's a lot of vice presidents of Herbalife that aren't touching what's being made in the field, and they're making really good money as vice presidents.
Right.
Yep.
So excellent. Okay, love Dan. Excellent. I'm going to dig in. I'm going to do even more of it and just make sure this becomes my own personal nomenclature here. Just as I start to get all these things down, I start to memorize everything. And I'm also, it's going to help me because my brother, I got my brother to sign up this weekend. I've got some old school people coming in that were really big players that we're going to get in MLM again, but somehow or another the water's turning them around. And so I'll be working it a little bit for my brother with him, and that will help me to understand it even more by working it with him as he goes through the process, because he's my brother, and I told him I was going to help him get going in this because he's been in 2 companies with me, and every time I get thrown out of the company, they take his check, which is not fair. But so I told him I won't get thrown out of this one. I'll be nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you for your time, man.
Thank you, guys.
A few things for me also. That's good stuff.
Good.
Yeah,
Glad to be
I'm
with you.
glad you're on it, Eric. Okay,
Take care.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.